Hello and welcome back. So here is another question on Fabric. And the question is, where should you store semi-structured data that needs T-SQL, KQL and Spark access? Now this question is very tricky, and what interviewers want to know is whether you understand Lakehouse, Eventhouse, Datamart and Warehouse, and how to choose one of them for your need. Now I will structure this in a question so that you will understand it better in a multiple choice question. So the question says, let's say your organization has implemented Fabric and you have semi-structured data. It could be a JSON or Parquet file, and the requirements are the data only will be written using Apache Spark, and the data should be readable back using T-SQL, KQL and Apache Spark. So which Fabric option should you choose? Option A, Lakehouse; option B, Eventhouse; option C, Datamart; and option D, Warehouse. Now, looking at this question, you should know that an interviewer wants to understand whether you understand the difference between Lakehouse, Warehouse, Eventhouse and Datamart. So let's solve it. Again, as we did in the last question, you should read the requirement carefully and find the keywords. So what are the keywords? The data should be semi-structured. That means it could be a JSON, Parquet, Avro or CSV. Some of the example of semi-structured data. Immediately this tells us that we are dealing with a Delta Lake scenario. Requirement number 2, the data is written only by Apache Spark. That means Apache Spark needs native write support. And the requirement number 3, the data should be readable using Spark, SQL and KQL. This is the most important clue. How? We'll see by looking at all the options. Let's go to the option A, which says Lakehouse. So, as you know, a Fabric Lakehouse stored data in one lake using the Delta Lake format. Okay, because it uses Delta table, it supports Spark and SQL endpoint. The data can also participate in analytic scenario that leverage KQL when integrate accordingly. So most importantly, Spark is native engine for writing data into Lakehouse. This option already satisfy almost every requirement. Okay, so let's keep it in mind. We'll go through all options first. What is the option B? Eventhouse. So as you know, Eventhouse is designed for streaming data, telemetry, logs and time series analytics. It uses the Custo engine. Yes, KQL it's the primary language for Eventhouse. But here is one issue. Eventhouse is not the primary storage for Spark written semi-structured data. So definitely this option does not match. And remember, Spark write scenarios which are not Eventhouse is built for. So definitely this is out of the answer. Option C is Datamart. Now Datamart are designed for business user. Okay, so the primarily it exposes relational data. They don't support Spark based write or semi-structured Lakehouse storage. So definitely this option is out of the question. Option D is Warehouse. So Warehouse are optimized for structural relation data. They support SQL, but can Spark write semi-structured data into Warehouse? No. Warehouse do not store files like Parquet or JSON in the same way what Lakehouse does. So this is also not the correct option. So what will be the final answer? We satisfy all the requirement? Lakehouse. And why Lakehouse? A Fabric Lakehouse is designed for exactly this kind of workload. It combines the flexibility of data lake with SQL analytics. And also it supports semi-structured files, Delta format, Spark write, SQL queries through SQL endpoint. Okay, so some of the interview tips. If the question is asked, for example, why not choose a warehouse if SQL is required? The answer is very simple. A warehouse is optimized for structural relation data and SQL workload, not the semi-structured data. A Lakehouse supports SQL and native Spark processing. over semi-structured files. That is why Lakehouse is preferred. Okay, so remember, only Lakehouse fulfill all the requirement, which is semi-structured data, Spark write, SQL query, KQL and Delta format. Okay, so here is the summary. If the question is asked why is Lakehouse is the best choice for your semi-structured data, Lakehouse is the ideal storage option because it built for semi-structured data stored in Delta format. It supports native Apache Spark write, provides SQL access through the SQL endpoint. It combines data lake flexibility with warehouse style analytics, making it perfect storage layer for modern fabric data engineering needs. Now, here is the challenge which you need to do, and of course write to me using the comment section. What if the data were high volume streaming telemetry that needs sub-second KQL analytics instead of Spark based write? Would you still choose a Lakehouse or you will choose Eventhouse? Think about it in terms of how you'll select the workload before selecting the storage type. So I will see you in the next question. Till then, please take care and goodbye.